Hey you guys! So today's video, I wanted to sit down and talk to you about everything that I wish I knew before I became a beauty guru. I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time. You guys have asked me over and over again to share tips and tricks on how I grew my channel the way that I did, how I stay positive, how I stay consistent. I mean, I wasn't consistent last year because I was like grieving my mother's death, but usually, like when I'm doing well, I'm very consistent. And in 2019, 2019, I had the biggest career success that I've had on YouTube. I grew my channel by like 80,000 subscribers in like 6 months or something like that. I launched a podcast. I launched a Patreon. Things were going well. And 2021 is looking to be like another year just like that for me because I've healed and I've gotten through everything that I was facing with my mom's death and just the general dumpster fire that was 2020. And I kind of wanted to share with you guys the mindset that I wish I had from the very beginning and the mindsets that I have to keep in place in order to get through this crazy thing that we call beauty YouTube. So really quick before we get started, make sure you check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. Thumbs up the video if you enjoy it. If you're new here, subscribe, you want to. And if you're not new here, hey, what's up? How's your mom and him? And yeah, let's just get started. So the first thing that I wish I knew, and probably will not surprise a lot of you guys who've been watching me for a while, is that particularly when it comes to being a beauty guru, you need to understand that shopping is not, I repeat, let me just bring it in. Everyone hear me well. Shopping is not a personality. Now, what do I mean by that? A big thing in the beauty community, I mean, honestly, I don't even know anymore. I say it all the time. Maybe you believe me, maybe you don't. I do not watch beauty content ever. Every once in a while, there's like 2 or 3 people, if I'm on the market for something in particular, that I'll go creep what they think. Other than that, I do not watch beauty content. And that is because I found over the years that so much of what constituted beauty content was about shopping. It was hauls, or it was unboxings, or it was reviews, or it was full face of first impressions. I would say that in the beginning, I kind of fell into that. For a long time, that was what I did. And I really didn't experience any success at all. And that is because everyone does that. And the people who are going to be successful doing that kind of stuff are the ones who are successful doing it now. So if you are just getting started and you want to be a beauty YouTuber, I would highly suggest you find another way to go about it. I don't know what this is. I know this was really popular a few years ago. I don't know if this is still what's going on. Again, I don't watch beauty YouTube. I remember so vividly that anytime a brand came out with a new product, a palette, a foundation, a concealer, everybody would make a video reviewing that palette, foundation, or concealer. And if you want to do that, you are competing in the YouTube algorithm for the top players, like the Raw Beauty Christies, the Samantha Ravindal, the Jaclyn Hills, the ones who are already raking in millions of views off that type of content. You really need to pay attention to kind of what is going on socially. I knew that I wanted to do the no buy and kind of go on that journey in 2019 because that's just what I wanted to do. But I also knew that if I was sick of watching the same shit over and over again, that definitely other people were sick of it as well. You're going to have to find your angle, your perspective, what makes you unique. And you don't only need to do that, you need to double down on it. I've read somewhere that 100 hours of footage is uploaded to YouTube every second. So you're gonna have to get through all that noise, and the only way to do it is to find your voice and stick with it. Do not follow the trends that hard. Don't go broke trying to become a beauty guru. It's a stupid idea. It doesn't work. There's no guarantee it'll work. But what will work is you being true to yourself and bringing something new to the platform. And that is the first thing. Don't assume that buying a bunch of makeup and reviewing it will make you successful, because I'm willing to bet it's probably, especially in 2021, probably not going to do that. So next, the next thing I want you guys to understand is however much work you think this is, it's more. I promise you, it is so much work. And I learned this in 2019, like I said, when my channel had that big uptick, because prior to that, I had a YouTube channel, but I don't think I would ever at that point prior to 2019 have said I'm a YouTuber. I really understood the full workload and what it was like to be a professional YouTuber in 2019 because the work was non-stop. My friends and family were worried about me a little bit, which I thought was so funny because I was like, I'm happier than shit. Like I'm having a great time. But to them, all they saw was I was constantly working. Again, a big part of why I took such a break in 2020 is because I just didn't have the emotional mental fortitude, which also is a point we're going to come to momentarily, to put that in. I didn't have anything to give, let alone 40 to 60 hours a week on my YouTube channel. So you need to understand that this is a lot of work. It is not easy. You guys see, I've had comments like this before where some salty ass bitch will get on my channel and be like, I don't know why you think you have the right to tell people what makeup to buy. You've been doing YouTube for X amount of years and you only have X amount of subscribers. And in that moment, I was like, okay, well, you're just projecting on me, number one. But number two, that tells me that a lot of people see these influencers who do things like gain 2 million subscribers in a year or whatever and think that is the norm. That is absolutely the exception. YouTube, again, I'll say it again, 100 hours every second gets uploaded. So to consider how much content gets on YouTube and how many creators we consider to be the top dogs, it is the exception, not the rule. So in order to break through, again, all that noise, you need to understand how much work it is going to be. So the next thing is that you're going to have haters. You're going to have people who don't like you, and you're probably going to have them from day one. When I started YouTube, it was a long time ago, it was not the platform that it is today. So it took a while for me to start getting them. But I'm pretty sure in 2020 or 2021, you're probably going to get them right away. And the thing is, I used to really let them bother me because I didn't understand it. I seek to understand all the time. It's a blessing and a curse, really. I wanted to understand what goes through someone's mind in this moment. Like, you could do anything you want with your time in this world, anything you want. So I really did not understand the people who just hate watch me and take the time out of their day, their precious energy, to let me know how much they don't like me. I used to really let it get to me. Now, not so much. Sometimes I laugh about it. Usually I'll just be like, thanks for the view. Like when I respond to it. I used to delete the comments because people would fight defending me and it just became this really stupid negative thing. But I guess what I want you guys to understand is you should not be letting any negativity or any haters or any people like that deter you from anything you want to do in life, let alone social media. But it's a mindset shift you are going to have to cultivate. There are some people who are truly built for fame, who can just literally let everything roll off them. I'm not necessarily one of those people because I'm a person who is constantly wanting to improve myself in any way that I can. So I try to take even the dumbest criticism under a little bit of an advisement, just a little bit. I don't like build my world around it or anything, but I try to take feedback the best way that I can. And I think you need to do that. You need to listen a little bit to your audience and what people are saying, but there's a line that you're gonna have to draw. And if you're not the type of person who can kind of filter through all that information and stay true to yourself, this will be very, very difficult for you because everyone isn't going to like you. You don't even like everyone. So sitting here and trying to placate and please a bunch of strangers on the internet, I cannot think of a more wasteful thing to do with your time. There are two types of people on planet Earth. I fully believe this. There's the people on stage and there's the people in the stands. I'm a person on the stage. I always have been. I've always been a little star. Anywhere that I go, I want to be the star student. I want to be the best at what I do. I want to make an impression. I've just always been this way. But in the past, I used to really let the naysayers dull my shine, get in my head and mess with me. But now, it's really been about this year and everything I've been through this year has truly taught me that screw everybody. I'm not going to spend one more second of my time worrying about what other people think because I know personally myself, I don't care what other people are doing. I truly do not spend any time worried about what anybody is doing but myself. I guess my ego's too big for it. I am my number one priority. So what other people are doing, I don't care, which again is why I don't understand people who are making drama videos and getting in fights and drama. I just don't care enough. So adopt the I don't give a shit attitude before you hit record if you're the type of person who takes criticism really hard because it will destroy your channel. I promise you, if you cannot learn how to manage that and take in what you need to and leave everything else, you will hate being on social media. I promise. So the next point is that this job is lonely. It's really, really lonely. You know, I work from home. I've been working for myself for a long time, even when I was a pro makeup artist. It's alone. You're doing everything yourself. And you don't have coworkers to commiserate. In fact, the worst jobs I've ever had in my life, like the most menial, low-paying jobs in my life, I still look back on fondly because I enjoyed some of my coworkers so much. I worked at Applebee's for like 2 years in my early 20s. Shittiest job ever, but I loved my coworkers. If I go to Applebee's this day, I get a little teary-eyed. I still like look back on that time fondly because I had so much fun with my coworkers and I like that. So this adjustment for me is kind of hard. It's not easy to make friends online. In fact, you might even double consider who you allow into your online YouTube circle anyway, because you just never know anyone's intentions. There's a lot of vetting you need to do to make friends, I think. I take my YouTube friendships really slowly. I don't go all in at once. Like, we need to get to know each other. So it's hard, you know? You really have to be okay with the fact that you might be the only person that you know who does this, who knows what it's like. I'm the only person I know who works for themselves at all, let alone on YouTube. So it's lonely and it kind of sucks in that way. But I'm giving you guys a lot of like harsh reality, but I'm gonna finish this up with some sweetener. So hold on. You need to accept that. If you are a social butterfly, you need friends, you need people to bounce that energy off of every day, you're probably not gonna get it on here. Personally, I know that I could get on live or get on stories or whatever and like text and communicate with people that way if I really wanted to, but it's not the same to me. It's like full-blown day in, day out camaraderie. We're in this together. We're a team. That's the thing I miss most about our traditional 9 to 5. And in fact, when I was talking earlier this year about going to esthetician school, that was a big part of it. I was like, I just want to go be in a room with people who know what I'm going through, even if it's just a class. So keep that in mind. It's kind of lonely. The next thing is everything is on your shoulders and social media doesn't care if you're having a bad day. This was a lesson I learned in 2020 more than any other time in my life because it was a hard year for me. You know, I lost my mother to cancer. I had a cancer scare in the middle of the summer. It was horrifying. There was a lot of general personal issues going on for me. The world at large was a dumpster fire. It was a stressful year. And I truly knew that for my own mental health, I had to take a step back and heal. I could not be this content production machine that I had been the year prior. And it was hard. It was already hard enough, everything I was going through. But on top of that, I had to sit back and watch my channel die. You know what I mean? YouTube is set up to get you addicted to posting. When you get on your little back end, you have all these green arrows that are going up when your channel is doing great. And it's so like that dopamine hit you get when the views are up, the subs are up, revenue is up. It's amazing. But then you have a hard time like I had this year. And on top of everything else, I would get online and look at my analytics and it'd be red, down, down, down. Everything's down. Now, real quick, there are people who no matter what is going on in their life, they can just be like, hey, y'all, I learned this year I'm not that person. Now, it is my goal to cultivate better coping skills and really figure out my way through that. At the same time, I'm not going to beat myself up for taking 2020 off after I lost my mom, but you're really going to have to figure out how to balance that and be okay with the fact that if you're having a hard time, not only should you be stepping away from social media and focusing on yourself, but be okay with the fact that your platform may suffer, but you can come back and it's okay. This is a very specific lesson that I don't know how many people are going to be receptive to it or even need to hear it. But for those of you that need to hear this, hear me well. You will get through the hard time. You can come back to work later, but you have to take care of yourself or it will catch up with you. I promise you. The next thing is you need to love to learn. Honestly, unless you're going to come out into the gate with a YouTube channel with a management team, a graphic designer, an editor, a videographer, you're going to have to learn a lot of stuff. Over the years, this happened to me a lot when I moved back to Georgia, which is my hometown in 2015. And I wasn't even a big YouTuber. I mean, not a big YouTuber now, but I definitely wasn't back then. I might have had 30,000 subscribers or something like that. And I vividly remember there was 2 girls who I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like we'd never gone to lunch, never hung out. We were just peripheral friends. We might have been friends on Facebook. They might have frequented bars that I worked at in the past. Like we just knew of each other's existence. And these girls would hit me up regularly regularly for a while there, wanting me to tell them what camera to buy, wanting me to tell them how to edit, wanting to have lunch and pick my brain. I was so offended by that for a couple of reasons. Number one, you haven't brought any value to my life in any capacity. In what world do you think I'm going to sit down and like give you a PowerPoint presentation on this shit that took me years to learn? And number two, if you're not willing to sit down and Google, you might as well just stop, because that is exactly what you're going to be doing for a long time. That's why I think it's so funny when people put a lot of pressure on themselves to like upload their first video and even hit 1,000 subscribers in their first year, because that first little while that you're doing this, there is so much to learn. Again, you have to learn how to film. You have to learn how to edit. Just learning how to do your setup and your lights. This is an ongoing process for me. I'll never be happy, I feel like. Then you have to learn algorithm stuff. You have to learn SEO. You're going to have to learn how to manage your schedule, how to come up with a content calendar, how to do graphic design. All this stuff I have taught myself. I've never taken a single formal class on how to do anything. And if you are not willing to do so, or if you don't love to learn and enjoy the process of finding new things, I hope you have some money set aside to hire other people to do this. This job is built for people who are resourceful, who are curious, and who are driven to be better. If you do not have those three things, you're not going to cut it, because as I said before, there's no one answer to any aspect of being successful in social media. It truly comes from hands-on experience, perseverance, and dealing with that I call it the ugly phase of social media, where everything you post, you're like, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. You're going to go through that for a while. Please, you guys, do not reach out to people that you admire on the internet and ask them to collab, ask them to shout you out, sub for sub. If that is your attitude, you are sunk already. People will watch you because they like you, because what you're doing is unique and you're working hard at it and you have a voice and a niche and you're doing well. If you're relying on people that have more subscribers than you to take you up with them, that's a joke. That's a joke. You might as well stop now. I can't say it enough. You can only count on yourself in this job. That is it. Stop bothering other people and asking them to teach you how to do this thing that, again, so much work. Now, with that being said, I have learned so much that I am considering making some content. I don't know if it'll be on Patreon or if it'll be here. I don't know how I want to do it, where I will teach you. I can teach you guys all the stuff that I have learned, but I'm gonna charge you for it, because it cost me in so many ways, money and time, to get to where I am now. And if you're not willing to kind of sacrifice one of those two things to excel in this platform, then I don't know what you're doing, girl. The next thing I will say is that once you find your footing, once you figure out what you like to do, once you figure out kind of your system, your process, and things kind of start moving a little bit more smoothly, and you start to see those subs come in and you start to have those consistent viewers. I still know the names of the viewers that I had when I first started. One of her names is Vanessa. Hey girl, if you're watching this, I know who you are. There are people in my Patreon, Nana, Dawn, all you guys, like, I know who you are because you have invested in me so much, whether it was literally just the time that you took to watch one of my videos, or if you're on Patreon, you've given me money every month. Like, those people, not only do you appreciate them because they're helping you live your dream, but for me to have just said a little while ago, like, it's lonely, these people are important to me and they inspire me in a huge way. They really make what I do worth it. And that is kind of like the moment on social media, which makes it so different, I think, than any other type of job in media. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was an actress or something, I would get up on the big screen, make my movie, maybe I'd see some reviews in like the New Yorker or something, but I'm not having direct feedback and connection with the people who are supporting me. That is the benefit of what we do. And it is so cool, you guys. I've had several times where I go out in public and I meet people who know who I am, and I'm just like, oh my God. It's really great. And those are the people you need to focus on, you know, more than anything. Listen to them, ignore the haters, blah, blah, blah. But once you find these people, we'll call them like your tribe or whatever. Once you find these people, you really need to make content for them, because where there is one of them, there is 100 of them. And those people are your ride or dies. I think it was Seth Godin. Who said it? I can't remember who said it, but there is a belief that all you need is 1,000 true fans. You need to figure out who those people are, what they want to see, enjoy them because they are such a gift, and help and figure out how to make content for them. That's kind of like your focus group, which is what I love about Patreon. I go on there all the time and I'd be like, what do you guys think I should do? And they tell me and I listen. So that is something, you know, on the sweeter side of it that comes your way. And it's just something that if I quit social media today, like if I upload this video, deactivate everything, I will miss that. Probably won't miss a whole lot of other stuff, but I will deeply miss those people who I have connected with on the internet. My next point, and the biggest point that I can give you, and I think it kind of, I've said it in so many ways throughout this whole video, is if you cannot love the struggle, you need to go. If you're expecting to turn the camera on and have 1 million subscribers in a year, or if you're expecting to turn the camera on and get tons of PR, or if you're expecting to turn the camera on and you put your first Instagram video out and it blows up, like, you're gonna have to deal with the shitty period. And there's gonna be a shitty period. If you cannot enjoy it, you're not going to enjoy the fruits of your labor either. Because basically, you hear people say all the time, do it because you love it. Don't do it for the money. And that's trite, and it sounds kind of like, oh, I want to eat a pie of rainbows so we can all be happy. Like, it sounds very that, but it is true. If you can't do this when no one's watching, if you can't love this when no one's paying you to do it, like if you only did this for money and adoration, that stuff never ends. There's always more money to be made. The fact that social media is predicated off numbers, followers, likes, shares, no matter what milestone you reach, there will always be another one above that to get. I think it was Bob Marley who said something about not getting, he doesn't focus on numbers because numbers are infinite. That's an important thing to understand. These numbers will never stop. And if you're so attached to those numbers that you need them to tell you if you've done a good job, or if you need them to tell you if it's worth continuing on, you'll quit. I promise. You're going to have to do it on some level because you enjoy it. Even when I wasn't taking YouTube seriously, which I would honestly say I never took it seriously until 2019, I still did it because I liked it. I still like the creative process of it. There's been many years on my channel that I was a professional working makeup artist doing photo shoots and clients, and I would still hop on here when I was completely exhausted and make YouTube videos because I liked doing it. I sure as shit wasn't doing it for the money. So what I'm saying is, if you cannot enjoy the struggle, you need to get out now, because there's so much struggle. You know, even if you have a high note, like I said, my 2019, was it 2019? Yeah, 2019 was such a high note for me. And then it immediately went back down in 2020 when my mother died. I had to love that time too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come back. Like, you got to be willing to ride the wave, because none of this is guaranteed. You know, you could have the biggest channel in the world one year and then get canceled a week later. Like, you just don't know. So you better love every part of it. It's kind of like being in a relationship with a person. You might love all the great things about them, but if you can't love the fact that they leave their toenail clippings on the bathroom floor, you're never going to get anywhere with it. So the last thing I will leave you guys with is that some people are meant for this and some people are not. I know that I was meant to do this. I seriously don't know what I am meant to do on YouTube. Sometimes that's hard for me because I love makeup. I'm a professional makeup artist at heart. I fiend to do makeup on other people. And, you know, there's a part of me who is constantly trying to decide if I want to go back into that world. I mean, with the way things are right now, who even knows when that could happen again? But I know, and I have learned, that I do not enjoy talking about products all the time. I just don't. So I don't know how my social media career is going to pan out. I'm sure one day I'll look back on all this and been like, I would have never thought. So while I don't know if I am meant to be doing beauty content sometimes, I do know I am meant to be doing this. I am meant to be running my own shit. I am meant to be communicating with you guys. I love to teach. That is something that I've definitely learned about myself. You guys tell me all the time how good of a teacher I am. I know that I've always wanted to be a little star. I know that I want to create a community around me. Like, these are the basic facts of me that have always been true since I was a little kid. At the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying is, like, you need to do this because it serves you. Some side of your personality is truly fulfilled and expressed through this type of a platform, as opposed to, I just want to be rich and famous. I'm not saying that you cannot be successful if that is your only driving force, but I can promise you that your identity and your sense of self-worth could very easily be destroyed if your why is not bigger than that. Because again, there are so many factors that make what we do so difficult. But if you can stick it out and push through it, which I believe anybody has the ability to do so, you're just going to have to get really real with yourself about so many things and really double down on that shit. You got to tune everything else out. So I guess I would say the number one thing I've learned is figure out if you're made for this. I know I am. If any of you guys are made for this, leave a comment down below and tell me why. I would love to see you guys interact with each other, rooting each other on. And again, if you guys want to see more content about kind of how to be a YouTuber, and I can teach you how to do a content calendar, I can teach you how to write a script, I can teach you how to do the research, I can teach you how to do the lighting, all that stuff, let me know. If there's enough interest, I will figure out a way to start creating some sort of classes or courses around it. Because again, a bitch love to teach. I also did a podcast with Erica Vieira from Beauty in the Vlog right before my mother passed away. And she and I talked a lot about kind of my belief system around beauty creation, beauty content creation in particular. I will leave that video down below if you want to hear me kind of expand on that stuff. But also she has tons of videos from other creators who have lots of advice to give as well. This is just my opinion. And I'm really sorry if it came across like I'm trying to talk you out of it. But I'm just the type of person who I need you to hit me in the face with the cons so I can deal with them. And then I can move forward knowing exactly what I'm in for and exactly what I need to prepare for. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. As always, like it to the patrons. Tonight on Patreon, we are having our book club meeting I'm so excited about. We are talking about The Four Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. Such a good book if you guys are interested. Please read it. It will teach you so much about yourself and about other people. We are going to be moving on in December to Atomic Habits by James Clear. We're kind of doing this stair-stepping thing. I have a vision for why I'm picking the books in the order that I'm picking them in. But I would love for you guys to join, particularly around January, because that will be a much more organized version of what this book club is going to be. And I think it's going to be such a great part of my brand, if you will, and I would love for you to join. And for those of you who keep asking, you do not have to join Patreon to be a part of the book club. Again, this is very disorganized right now because I'm just beta testing it and figuring out the kinks, but we will talk about the books that are in the book club on the podcast and on the Facebook group once things kind of get ready and back to normal, which is the state that I'm in right now. I'm so excited. I feel like I got my life back. 2020 about took your girl out. It was rough. So, yeah. Anyway, all that being said, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Check the down bar for links on my social media platforms, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.